Hi, my name is Gabriel.
I'm Nathan.
Hi, my name is Sam Waspe.
I'm Julia. I'm Sophia, and this is Cincinnati from Scratch.
Hi, my name is Gabriel. I'm 15 years old. I play the piano, and my piece that I wrote is called Mezzack. The reason my inspiration for this piece was really my stress from school and from long days at marching band. And so the first movement was sprouted from an improvisation that I had after a long day of marching band. Lots of physical energy and emotional energy were being used. And so whenever I'd get to the piano and in my school or at home, I just improvise, and it just helped me relax. And so that was always really helpful. And then the second movement, it was kind of the opposite of that, kind of trying to go out of control. And I didn't necessarily think of these things when I wrote the pieces, but it's kind of a reflection of how I felt at the time. I don't like to tell people what to listen to or listen for. I but I think that's a little cheap of an answer, I'd say. So listen to what they find as music. I really like this quote by Charles Ives, is saying that beauty in music isn't based off of simplistic things or things that we're immediately drawn towards. It's things that we need to listen to over and over again and really think about that's beautiful in music.
is Julia Lancman. I'm 14 years old. I play the violin, and my piece is called Travel Stamps, The World a la Me. My piece is about all the places I visited in the world and how they made me feel. Like, it's kind of like describing all of the emotions I felt, and most of them, or well, all of them are pretty upbeat and happy because there wasn't a place I visited that I didn't like. And the piece that it ends with like very like day-to-day things, like practicing my violin, and there's the sound of my school bell and like my school ambiance that I took at school, and it just ends like that. And then it ends very calm because like even though I love traveling and it's part of my life, I just like it's always good to come home and just experience some busy peace. In my piece, you'll hear sounds from Brazil, the Dominican Republic, Spain, Austria, Estonia, France, outer space, and finally it ends with sounds from my hometown and my daily life. So to begin writing the piece, I had kind of two different ideas. I had an idea that I could do sounds from different places, or I could do sounds from like landscapes, like biomes, I guess. And we decided to kind of combine both. So after we took all of the places and we just said, okay, how many or what kind of sounds do we want to hear? So like, for example, in like Austria, you can hear this like Mozart Viennese waltz, because those are just things that I had remembered like from when I had went there, and it made sense to add them. So if people in the future play this piece, they of course can add their own movements because it's supposed to be personal, and like if they've been to one of the places that's on the list, then they can go ahead and just make it their own. But if there is places that I haven't been to that they have, then they can add it. I want people to walk away from listening to my piece with like newfound inspiration to not only travel the world, but like to cherish your experiences. Like they can start their own like log of their own, like they can write it down, or I just want them to cherish their memories and for them hearing mine. This program changed my view on creativity because it just showed me that anything is possible. Like as you guys have said before, like we don't say no, so whatever you want, it's done. And you really showed that that's possible. Like anything is possible, and I can be as creative as I want, and it can still happen.
Hi, my name is Sam Waspe. I am 17. I play flute, and you will be hearing my piece, Hope, a Necessity. My piece is about a day in the life of me, and really a transition of feelings after my friend revealed there was a swastika in the school bathroom, and also the effect of the October 7th attack on Israel, and how being more than a year after this attack, how I finally really started to feel feelings of anger, sadness, and really fear and disappointment the most. And it's important, I had to remind myself that it's important to remain hopeful, so that brighter days will come, knowing they will come. It's just a matter of time. And you have to stay hopeful to see through the hatred that I am currently facing, or anyone who's struggling is facing right now. When people listen to this piece, I want them to really understand how it would feel to face this on a daily basis. That being acts of hatred like the one I experienced. I'm lucky to only have experienced this one act, but there are so many people in the world who are just hated because they're different and people treat them differently. It's unfortunate. And just think about how they're treated on a daily basis. So thinking about that, try to be a good person in the world and give them these things to be hopeful for, because like the title of the piece says, hope is a necessity. So by being a better person and making the world a better place, you are giving them something to be hopeful for. My experience in the From Scratch program was awesome. I have no composition experience. I've kind of had the idea of I've wanted to write a piece for a while now. And it was really cool. Our first session was all 5 of us, and we knew each other from CSYO, most of us. And Joe and Hannah sat us down, and we started talking about how there's so many different modern composition strategies, and we got to explore grids and graphic notation, and really something that is utilized in my piece is just a structure, a list in order of things, as well as a key for the percussion instruments. I would not really have thought of that before this program. And I got introduced to all sorts of extended techniques for both percussion and violin, and it was really cool. And I got to hear some really cool pieces from the other students in the program.
Hello, my name's Sophia Hamel. I'm 18 years old. I play the violin and cello, and you're going to hear my piece called Longing. In the piece Longing, it's based off of 5 emotions: perplexed, anger, romance, agony, and hope. In the perplexed is an intro to the piece, and then the anger has a use of tritones, the minor seconds, and major sevenths, and then moves on to the romance section, which is dance-like and has variations to that part as well. And then it goes to the hurt section, where I use the wolf tone of a violin. And then coming out of that is the hope section, where everything starts to be happy again, and it ends like that. For the world premiere in this recording, Hannah plays on my dad's violin, which is a really special violin in our family because it's been in our family for generations. And especially since my piece uses the wolf tone, my dad's violin has a wolf tone on B, and I don't really like that note, so I kind of wrote it for that violin originally, but anyone can play it with their wolf tone. Or there's performance notes in my piece where you can kind of fake a wolf tone, so that's the fun part about it. I think I would like people to walk away, like reflecting on their life and maybe where they are, because a lot of my piece has to do with negative thoughts or negative emotions, even though there's happy emotions. Like the romance section, I was thinking like a romance between 2 people, and then it reaches a climax and something goes wrong and you're hurt by that. But it doesn't have to be like a relationship. It could just be like something you love or passionate about, and it just doesn't work out, which I have a lot of experience in that. Oh, I had a really fun time in the From Scratch program, and I learned a lot, and I have a a lot better appreciation for contemporary music. I think the most important thing I learned was the freedom that you can do anything and that anything can be music, like how you want to express that. Because there's so many ways to express musical thoughts and ideas.
Hi, my name is Nathan Barkley. I'm 16 years old. I play the French horn, and my piece you're going to hear is The Two-Faced Mind. So, my idea of the piece came with about how the duality of the mind and like how powerful the mind is as it controls like our emotions and memories. The duality comes from the idea that good things come from the mind, such as happiness, joy, peace, nostalgia, whatever it may be. But then there's also bad things such as fear, sadness, depression, whatever that may be. I use the term two-faced specifically because two-faced is also a word to describe a hypocrite, and I considered the mind a hypocrite since it's both good and bad, and those two things contradict each other. My piece is divided into 3 parts. The first part is what I consider the like good section. It has sort of happier sounding melodies and chords, especially from the vibraphone, and a repeating violin motif that you hear throughout the entire piece. The second part I consider like the bad part. It has dissonant intervals in the vibraphone and overall minor key to kind of invoke sadness, but really what I think mostly invoke fear. And then the third part, I consider it a mix of the two because you can think of the good and the bad as separate, but overall the mind is both, so you need to think of it as happening both at the same time. And so what you'll hear is there's mixes of melodies and harmonies and accompaniment from both my first and second part. What I want people to think about when listening to my piece is I want them to think about a sort of memory to associate with the emotions that each section is trying to invoke. What I like to, this isn't an exact memory of mine, but something I like to think about for the first part is a memory of dancing through a field of tulips. Something that brings joy when you think about it for the first part, but then the second part, think about something that's like a moment that you felt fear or sadness or whatever it may be. And then the third part, it could be a moment where you kind of felt both at the same time. The most important thing I think I learned was there's kind of like no limits to composing. Like it's very free. Like I came into this thinking like, oh, you're going to teach me like very basic music theory, learn how to notate and all that. But I soon learned I was very wrong. We learned how to like compose with written instructions, all of that, and how free form composing can be. I specifically remember where we talked about a piece where the instructions were make a salad. And I was like, at first I'm like, why would you say make a salad? But then I kind of started realizing, oh, you could like do this. And it kind of broadened my horizons of what music can like really be.